Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines are providing relief items and emotional support to fire victims in San Juan City. As the first day of 2013 marks the 15th anniversary of DaAi TV, we look at the positive influences the media station is bringing to society. And in our final report on Taiwan's fading trades, we meet Zhang Jieguan, the owner of Lixin Typography that produces letterprint for printing press. Today's first report takes us to the Philippines, where a fire recently broke out in San Juan City, leaving 1,500 families homeless. Upon learning of the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to the disaster site, where they carried out a disaster survey and aid distribution.
In the Philippines' San Juan City, a fire broke out, causing the destruction of 500 homes and leaving 1,500 families homeless. The fire victims were relocated to a local shelter. However, due to limited space, some families set up their own tents instead.
Since San Juan City is suffering from a big tragedy, we'll first use the money raised for Typhoon Bopha to help the needy.
After the devastation, the survivors are still terrified when they recall the fire.
I shouted to my daughter to run away from the fire because she's pregnant. All of our belongings were burnt in the fire, but I felt lucky that my family is safe.
Upon hearing of the disaster, volunteers rushed to survey the aftermath. 3 days after the incident, the volunteers handed out a 10-kilo bag of rice, straw mattresses, blankets, kitchen utensils, and cleaning supplies to each family.
I think there are people who are less fortunate. Tzu Chi's relief supplies helped us a lot, so we should return the blessings from Tzu Chi to those in greater need.
The fire took away Sheryl Sotomayor's belongings, but thankfully her family members are all safe. As the fire victims prayed with the volunteers, they realized the importance of mutual assistance, and with the volunteers' encouragement, they also learned to give back to continue the cycle of kindness.
Moving to China, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers carried out winter relief distributions on the last 2 days of 2012. This year, many care recipients and scholarship aid students seized the opportunity to serve local residents, hoping to share the joy of helping others to more people.
Offering cups of ginger tea to the local residents, Wu Yanping has assisted at every winter relief distribution over the years.
Helping others is the best feeling in life. If there are activities such as this in the future, I think I will always attend.
Utilizing the holiday break to do good, volunteers helping out not only include employees, but also many students who arrived bright and early. Wherever help is needed, that's where they'll be.
I'm happy to be here helping people. I enjoy helping others.
Utilizing the final 2 days of 2012, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers held several winter relief distributions over the 2 days. Many taxi drivers also put aside their jobs and offered their services to transport residents.
I was initially on call, but when I heard on the radio that they needed help here, I drove out here to help. Doesn't matter, it's not about the money.
Also, this year saw many new volunteers among the crowd. Even with no time to rest, everyone's face was still lit with smiles.
When my mom was sick, we received a lot of care from Tzu Chi volunteers, so I really wanted to become a part of this big family. When my mom passed away, my dad and I joined the volunteers' ranks.
With a steady grip and control over the steering wheel, Shi Lei is a professional driver. This year, Shi Lei is responsible for the pickups in between the Fujian area.
Over the last few days, I've gotten to know Tzu Chi, and having the opportunity to distribute rice and relief supplies, I really feel that so many people need our help. I'm happy. 1 bag of rice is a portion of love, just like the brothers and sisters. I want to be a fine Tzu Chi volunteer.
On the second day of the distribution, some 20 driving instructors were also on site to assist with transporting relief supplies for local residents, and the students and teachers of Xinshu Middle School also came to help. Just as everyone is busying themselves happily, a girl can be seen crying in a classroom.
This is doing good, but I can't attend. I want to help others because our principal told us helping others makes us blessed. I also want to have the ability to help others.
Unfortunately, Yaping suffers from osteosarcoma and her right leg has been amputated.
Your healthy mind is more important than your body. More importantly, our master will bless you.
Lending a helping hand are also some supermarket employees who took time off from their job to help out.
I don't feel I sacrificed my time and money. Doing good deeds makes me just as happy.
It is this contentment that warms the hearts of many despite the cold weather. This senior was moved to tears as life hasn't been easy since his son passed away. Amid the winter's cold, words of blessing brings warmth to the residents, helping them get through the cold winter days.
After the winter aid distributions in Xiamen, China came to an end, city volunteers went door to door to visit those families who weren't able to attend the distribution in Ximing district, bringing relief items and emotional support to their doorstep.
Unable to finish her sentence, Grandma Lu Xiuhua breaks into tears. The simple layout of the house is evident of the conditions in which the mother-son pair lives in. The volunteers visited the senior, bringing her care and encouragement. The next stop, volunteers arrived at the Fu's home. Jingsiobo Dharma Master also brought a peace charm for the father-son pair, and volunteers gave blessings for this family through song. Prior to the volunteers' home visitations, Tzu Chi had conducted 2 days of winter relief distributions, and close to 3,000 residents came to receive relief supplies at the International Convention and Exhibition Center of Ximing District. Tzu Chi volunteers required more manpower than usual as they distributed to more households this year, and many local officials also offered their assistance.
Since taking part last year, it felt like an obligation, but now I find joy in doing good and charitable deeds.
Over the years, volunteers have brought timely assistance and warmth to the local residents, cultivating a field of blessings.
As a part of our celebration for the 15th anniversary of DaAi TV, we look back on the history of Tzu Chi's media work from December 1st, 1995, with the cable broadcast of Tzu Chi World on channel UTV, to the establishment of DaAi TV in 1998, and the switching to HD quality broadcasting on January 1st, 2012. DaAi TV has continued to change and expand, but their message to purify hearts has stayed the same. Let's take a look.
In July of 2012, Taiwan switched to wireless broadcasting. Everything since then has been digitalized. However, on January 1st of 2012, DaAi TV had already switched to using high-definition broadcasting.
Master Zhenyin's video connection announces to the world that DaAi TV is entering the high-definition era. However, to adapt to the increases in resolution, changes will require for those in front of the camera.
On high definition, makeup cannot be too thick. If it's too thick, it will be very obvious on screen, as the picture quality is detailed. If the makeup is thick, it will look fake.
With HD, we have to make sure our emotions are expressed through the screen, as the camera tends to flatten out a person's enthusiasm. I try to go to bed early and sleep regular hours to help me be energized for work.
Always presenting the best to the audience, over the past 15 years, broadcasting has not always been easy. On September 16, 2001, Typhoon Nari brought devastation to the greater northern Taiwan area and severe flooding to Xizhi and Nangang areas. The 4-year-old Nangang DaAi TV station did not escape the effects of Nari unharmed.
I remember at 4 a.m. on the 17th, the view looking out from DaAi TV station was like a river. Water had reached the basement where we put the film archives. We thought if we kept walking, no matter what, as long as we could get back to the station, at least we would have tapes we could broadcast. However, when the waters reached this level, we were told it's no use.
The flooding of the DaAi TV station caused the broadcasting signal to break. After 7 hours, a team was able to assemble at Linkou Teleport Access Company and broadcast from a makeshift studio.
We used the raft to get out of the building and went to the Teleport Access Service Company to broadcast. It was really difficult. I remember I was wearing slippers. I think everyone was wearing slippers broadcasting that day. During that time, our colleagues were very helpful. If they had DVD players or VHS players, they offered to bring them to help out. Anything they could do to help the station.
With broadcasting resumed, the rescue work of the film archives had just begun.
Part of our staff stayed behind to pour out and clean the mud of the tapes.
From September 19th to October 10th, Tzu Chi volunteers from Guandu grounds assembled a disaster rescue team to help with the cleaning of the archives.
We would use a cup of water, then unwind the film, and when there was a muddy area, we would use a brush and carefully clean it.
All we did was clean. The film took a long time. I remember if I could clean 1 reel a day, I'd be satisfied.
The torrential rain pushed DaAi TV from traditional tapes to the digital era. Then news manager He Jianming led a team to experiment and test the new format for 9 months to ensure a smooth transition.
Thinking about switching to the digital era, I can only use the phrase, it's like wading across the stream by feeling away, as no one had done it before and everyone was uncertain what it was going to be like. We could only feel our way with each step.
On January 1st, 2005, Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center was officially established. It was the first media station to be digitalized in Taiwan. Looking back at the 3-year celebration of DaAi TV at Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in 1998, over 40,000 people joined in the event. This difficult road has not been easy to walk. However, with the firm intent to purify the hearts and minds of viewers, DaAi TV staff will never waver on their path.
Next, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Huiyuan in Taichung, who decided to join the Buddhist NGO after the 9/1 earthquake in 1999. And as a loyal audience of DaAi TV, his life has since changed dramatically. Here's more.
With goodness in your heart, you won't do bad deeds. So I just decided that as long as I'm up here exercising anyway, I will help fill in those dangerous holes in the path.
Whereas everyone else carries walking sticks up the mountain, Lin Huiyuan shoulders a hoe.
Holes or weeds can be pretty much found everywhere. So as I hike up, I will do a little weeding or filling holes as I go. Cars can't come in, and so it is difficult to bring materials up here. So I just bring them up piece by piece with every visit. But it's worth it to bring the gladness to the hearts of other hikers.
After every typhoon, he will come and fix the path for us. So for all of us that hike this path, we call him our angel.
From bottom to top of the path takes at least 30 minutes to hike. At about the halfway point, Lin has placed a stone table so hikers can sit and catch their breath.
The tabletop is about 67 centimeters wide and 177 centimeters long. Since some hikers might leave graffiti on it, so I decided to write characters on it first.
这我拢写上瘾的静思语啦。这活在当下，当下即是真的，咱会当安尼身体安尼真健康。 把握当下真的是最幸福的了。当我们有能力或者
When we have the power and intention to do so, we should give and love as much as we can.
人的无明烦恼有偌多，都要用偌尼正多的法水呢来滋润。
Every day at 8 a.m., Lin will tune in to Master Zhenyan's wisdom at dawn, carefully listening and noting what is being said.
In that half an hour, I don't have time to completely write everything down, so I will only write down the important points. But since those notes will still be messy and disorganized, I will go back later and copy it more carefully to another notebook. The year of the 9/21 earthquake, I was saved from the incident, so I wanted to help those less fortunate.
That same year, Lin became a certified volunteer and also a dedicated viewer of DaAi TV. Not long after, Lin gave up eating meat and even held a vegetarian meal wedding for his daughter's marriage ceremony.
At that time, I knew that he was doing it on our behalf and that he wanted us to plant the seeds of blessings to not kill animals.
As he slowly changes his family for the better, Lin hopes that his vision will pass on to the next generation as well.
Our road in life is never straight and often difficult, so we should do our best to walk a simple road with a pure heart. That is the most beautiful.
In the final series of our feature report on Taiwan sunset industries, we meet Zhang Jieguan, the owner of Rixing Typography, who produces the letter molds to print books and newspapers the traditional way.
This is
one of the very few printing factories in Taiwan that is still using typography. And when we speak of typography, we are referring to blocks of letters which we can exchange and edit. These letters are the heart and soul of a printing factory. This is the only remaining factory that is still crafting traditional Chinese letters. Here we have some 130,000 to 150,000 copper molds and letters like this. There's some 10 million of them.
A dictionary has approximately 10,000 words, and at Rixing, there are 3 forms of writing used, so that's 30,000 letters, and with each letter there are 7 sizes, so that's 210,000 altogether. Each letter also has some 10 to several thousand spare molds, adding up to hundreds of thousands of letters. To help the staff pick up the molds quickly, the letters are put in a special sequence.
We take the 2,000 letters that are most frequently used in books and newspapers and put them in the same order as the dictionary, from right to left and top to bottom.
An experienced staff is able to pick out 2,000 letters in an hour, and the cost is charged by weight. Today, only those printing poems or a limited printing of books will use typography printing. After the printing factory completes their work, the letter molds are then melted down for reproduction.
We put these recycled letter prints in the oven so that they can melt. How many degrees? For lead to melt, it's 270 degrees, but our oven temperature is above 350 degrees. Next, we use this block of copper to engrave the letters, and we first lock it inside the machine before turning it on.
A decade ago, after the last crafting master left Zixing Topography, the owner Zhang Jieguan and his wife decided to continue on his work.
I think so far I'm the only one who is capable of maintaining this kind of typography printing factory. If I don't do it, these traditional slides of our culture will be lost.
Apart from keeping his tradition alive, Zhang Jieguan has another mission of reproducing letter molds, as some of them have a history of over 40 years and are broken.
The letter on the left side is the original sample, and you can see there are dents to part of the mold, so the letter is incomplete. This means the mold is broken and needs to be repaired. The file with the repaired letters is sent to us through internet, and from there we are able to download it to our program so that our machine can engrave the molds.
With new copper molds, Zhang Jieguan is determined to continue producing typography printing.
What's really interesting is that, for example, in France, the whole country is working together to preserve their culture, but in Taiwan, only Mr. Zhang and a group of volunteers are doing so.
Zhang Jieguan also plans to turn his factory into a museum to keep the last set of molds with traditional Chinese characters as his gift for future generations.
In Canada, one Tzu Chi volunteer, Liang Yuyan, invited her fellow volunteers and members to her house in Vancouver to share the benefits of vegetarianism. And at the Tzu Chi Mississauga Academy, students was given the task of preparing the vegetarian dishes.
As parents busily prepare the food, the children are also given a task.
In 3 simple steps, we can make a chocolate fruit mix.
At the Tzu Chi Mississauga Academy in Canada, each class is preparing a vegetarian dish, and the students are happily putting their favorite vegetables together.
We design a dish for every class, and with the help from the teachers, the children are able to make something with their favorite vegetables and take it home later.
You can spread a bit of this according to personal preference, and finally you can roll this up like this.
Every student is a little chef, and the school's corridor has been turned into a food fair. Over in Vancouver, Tzu Chi volunteer Liang Yuyan has invited Tzu Chi members to her house to take part in a health seminar where she shares the benefits of vegetarianism.
Say, if you weigh 100 pounds, you can multiply that number by 17. The number 16 or 17 times your weight is the calorie intake you need each day.
The 2 guest speakers are sharing ways to keep a healthy lifestyle, as well as what to take note of with nutritional intake.
If you have enough calcium and vitamin D3, your body will be able to better absorb the calcium into the bones.
The right amount of nutritional intake guarantees a healthy life for all.
At the celebration of the 15th anniversary of DaAi TV, Tzu Chi volunteers from all around the globe gather at the Tzu Chi Grandu Grounds and Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Taipei to give their blessings. Media workers also vow to continue their work of spreading the truth, goodness and beauty to all corners of society. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.